Where are we going? This was your idea, Nathan.
Clearly, it was Nathan's idea.
Oh, yeah, totally my idea.
Well, you were like, hey, I'm hungry.
No.
This
whole
day was anybody's idea but mine.
This whole day we were supposed to be...
It started off with, hey, let's go golfing.
Yeah. We were supposed to be golfing.
Well, yeah, we were, but we can't help that Mother Nature came.
She came all right.
For sure.
It's literally rained for, I think we're going on like 77 straight hours at this point.
44 days and 44 nights or something like that.
Well,
It's a lot.
So what are we doing? Because no one's told me yet. I'm just driving.
Whatever. Just
literally, you guys are like, let's get in the car and bring the camera.
I clearly had the idea to go to get Mexican food. So we're going to go get some Mexican food that might also...
Would you go?
Okay, hold on. Let's back up.
It might also entail some Chick-fil-A or something.
No, here's the thing. The whole idea for today was to do something you had never done before, right? That was the premise of the whole day, right, Nathan?
Yeah, well, Brian has never played golf.
Correct. Never in his life played golf. So we were going to go today and play golf and record. Basically, I keep referring to it as like a dude perfect day on the golf course. Just us all having fun, chit-chatting. But we were going to record the day, and then we were also going to make a pretty cool video about the golf tournament. And we're still going to do that. It's just postponed. But we had all cleared our schedules to do this today. So instead, we are going to do something. We're going to keep the theme, and we're going to do something Swino's never done before.
Which is go to eat somewhere that's not Sonic or Chick-fil-A. And that's...
with a twist, because I still don't know if you're actually going to eat there, right?
Yeah, I don't know either.
We might go to Chick-fil-A so he can take his food in. But we're going to Mexican Villa. What do you like when you go to a Mexican food restaurant?
Whatever the most American food from a Mexican place is, usually.
So
like chicken strips.
They sell
or
chicken
French
strips.
Fries.
They sell French fries.
I've been doing, Mary's favorite restaurant is El Charro, I believe it is. That's like over by the movie theater.
Yeah.
And so we've been going there pretty often, and I'll just get like a plain hard shell taco with meat and cheese.
Meat and cheese on.
And I've grown accustomed to like their flavor and stuff now.
Okay.
So it's not too bad.
So Nathan, what do you eat when you go to Mexican Villa? Because I'm pretty sure it's the same thing I eat.
I eat the only thing that's worth eating on the menu, which is burrito enchilada style.
The burrito enchilada style. Half or whole? That's always the tricky question.
That's always the question. It depends on whether I want Andy's or not.
Have you ever had Andy's?
We have Andy's every time we go to Springfield.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I can get down with some ice cream.
But it's frozen
food.
custard.
It's food, you know.
Yeah.
Food.
Frozen custard.
So you can get down with ice cream / frozen custard, but you've never had what is, let's be honest, it's probably Springfield's like iconic thing.
Oh, it's a staple.
It's a staple. Sure. Mexican Villa.
Mexican Villa, yeah.
I honestly have never heard of it until you guys mentioned it today. I've never even crossed my brain hole.
That is wild.
It's like...
I seriously struggle to believe that. That's wild.
It 100% is true because I've never heard of it until today. I'm sure Mary's been there because she really loves Mexican food and stuff.
It's a lot like Tres Hombres at the lake.
Which I've also never been to.
You've never been, yeah. That's another video. Mexican Villa is very like just Midwestern Mexican. It's not even Tex-Mex. It's not even...
It's kind of its own thing.
Yeah, it really is its own thing.
What is the equivalent to it in like things that I would...
I don't... Nathan, is there one?
I don't think so.
It's like...
Is it like the Sonic of the...
No.
You know, because like Sonic has burgers and stuff like that, but they also have other stuff. And
well, I mean, they have Mexican Villa has a kids menu. But like, no, I don't think anyone's going to Mexican Villa for their cheeseburgers.
No,
Besides me.
Besides you.
no, it's burrito enchilada style.
Burrito enchilada. Some people get a little weird with the Sancho enchilada.
My wife does the
style.
Sancho.
Your wife does it. And I still don't. What's the difference?
Beans and no beans, I think.
Sancho doesn't have beans?
Correct.
Okay. So basically, Mexican Villa is like they make a burrito, but then they just cover it.
So they just have
enchilada
one
sauce.
They
Enchilada
just
style.
have like a couple items.
No, they have a full.
No,
you can
they
get-
full menu, but nobody knows what the menu has on
like
it.
9 out of 10 people when they walk in the door to Mexican Villa say, "I don't need a menu."
Yeah, you probably need to comment below if you eat anything other than this at Mexican Villa.
Right, because again, half or whole, and then the burrito enchilada style.
I thought he was going to say earlier that it depends on who's buying, whether he gets a half or whole.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
but I think
Ramsey's
Like
buying
today, when
today, so-
Ramsey's paying because it was
I'm
his
eating a
idea.
whole one, baby.
this was not my idea.
This was 100%
Today,
your
today will be a
idea.
whole day.
This is 100% your idea.
Let's be honest too. It's like $1 more for a whole
It
versus
is.
a half.
It is.
Like,
Because they give you a Mexican salad, which is just like lettuce.
yeah, you get some lettuce with a little diced tomato on top. It's not pico. It's not.
Yeah.
But the thing too is, I know you don't even eat really chips and salsa, do you, Brad?
I don't know.
You don't eat chips and salsa. Okay. Well, so this is actually the best Mexican restaurant for you to go to.
Because the chips are not that great.
Right. Like the most basic thing on their menu or that they offer is their chips. And they don't even really offer salsa.
Yeah. But their cheese dip is like
But-
on point.
But then you got to add their cheese dip. So they're kind of the smart ones. They're
Actually,
playing,
we need to stop. We should stop at a grocery store and pick up some like Tostitos or something and like take them in.
yeah, they're playing chess while we're playing checkers. They basically force you to get cheese dip because they give you this giant basket of warm, fresh chips,
Yeah.
but they don't give you actual like salsa
I
like
don't
you
give you
would.
anything with them.
Yeah, like you got this little jar of really hot sauce that they have on their table, and it was so. They used to have like pitchers of water on your table too. Like that was part of it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like
I think COVID messed a lot of that up.
Well, and I think they finally just got to the whole like health department side of things and realized that you can't just leave the same water jar for every patron for the whole day.
You have
So-
enough charge for this?
Yes, I got enough charge. I got 214 miles. We're good. We are 100% good to go.
I mean, I don't want to have to get a trailer again.
This
How many times has that happened?
At least once.
it's there's a learning curve. And we're learning what that curve is a few times, but it's not been that bad.
So if we're driving an electric car in the rain, will it shock us?
We could have this conversation.
Did you
all
see a
day.
thing about the Cybertruck where you have to put it into wash mode because a couple people fried it?
No way.
I did not.
I don't
hear
know if
about
that
this.
was I don't know if it was an actual legit thing, but it was definitely a headline.
And do you really go only 70 miles an hour?
That's
I
that's
mean-
what the speed limit is.
I know it is, but no one drives
The
70
limit-
miles an hour.
It's raining.
The top of that's where Nathan starts.
Right, that's
He
true.
just goes up from the speed limit.
Yeah. The guy, for those of you who don't know, the guy in the back has probably the biggest lead foot that I know.
No, I don't.
You don't.
I don't.
That's why he
Oh.
squeezes in so many properties per day because he only factors in 2 minutes to get there.
Yeah. You do. You're Jeff Gordon of the drone pilots.
No, I'm not.
Where,
I just have I have the speeds that I drive on certain roads, and that's what I do.
well, how fast is that speed?
This road is 78.
78. So on I-44, you go 78.
I just 78.
You guys are mad at me because I'm going 72.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad about it. I was just wondering why.
Well, I don't know.
There's a thing called the law.
Some of us like to stay away from the law. So
Have you ever been in jail?
I have never, no.
I've never been in jail.
Me either.
Well, I mean, we were in an interrogation room, but that's
Yeah.
a story for
Yeah.
another day. Yeah, I've been very fortunate to never be.
Never
I've
been
been
caught.
I've been in a cop car, hands behind my back, not quite yet under arrest,
That's more
but-
than I've ever been.
but I wasn't under arrest, nor did I have to go anywhere with the police. Like, they let me go. It was all a big, I guess I should tell the story. So we went to an MMA fight at Lake of the Ozarks at H-Toads. And it was a big group of Lebanon people. And a little ruckus broke out. And I have this cousin that is a giant. He's not quite Walter the Sasquatch big, but he's really big. And he does enjoy fighting. And I think somehow, some way, a couple people like kind of got into verbal altercation, and I'm pretty sure I tried to break it up. I'm not a fighter. And then next thing you know, I was in handcuffs. And it is the most uncomfortable position to be in.
That's intentional.
Right. And I get it. Like hands behind your
There's
back
a reason
in
for
the back of a cop car. Like, you can't move, because I made the mistake of moving like the wrong way and couldn't figure out how to like get my hands in a better spot. And I was terrified. And fortunately, shout out to Lance Burns. Somehow he talked to the Camden County sheriffs, and they were like, okay, you guys are free to go. So yeah, that was my one and only run-in with a like kind of sort of almost under arrest but in handcuffs.
Yeah, I've only been pulled over 2 times in my life. One of them was for speeding whenever I was like 17, which was really funny because as soon as I got pulled over, here comes my older brother over the hill and just pointing and laughing at me the whole time. And he had called my parents already and told them that I was pulled over, so I didn't even have an excuse. Like, I couldn't even pretend it didn't happen or anything. So
He was already busting.
yeah, it's Colby, not even the one that's a cop. It's the other one.
funny.
So
I'm not surprised.
he was just laughing hysterically, but he just gave me a warning. I was speeding, but he said I was actually the slowest person he had seen on that road all day.
Oh my
So-
goodness.
And then I got one ticket ever, and that was for having expired tags.
Oh yeah.
Several years back, whenever I was still trying to cash in my pennies to feed my family and stuff, so I was trying to push those to the limit, and I pushed it a little bit too far, a couple months past expiration. So
So how fast were you going when you got pulled over? Like
51 and a 45.
That's
Oh.
nothing.
is that it?
But I was still accelerating. That wasn't where I was stopping. But
So were you like Nathan, hammer down everywhere you go, or were you
No.
just like
I've always driven really responsibly
that
within
tracks?
the guidelines.
I have 2.
I was on the phone with you like 2 weeks ago when you got pulled over, I think, or maybe a month. That's why, as a matter of fact, that's why I'm driving today. Are you even legally allowed to drive
Yes.
right now?
Yes. Stop it. Yes.
So,
Oh my
Nathan,
gosh.
tell us about the last time you got pulled over.
Last time I got pulled over,
Uh-huh.
It's fresh in his memory because it just happened.
last time I got pulled over, last time I got a ticket.
Last time you got pulled over and last time you got a ticket, because it sounds like there's a story there.
Yeah, well, last time I got pulled over was because my rear brake light didn't work, and I was going through some little town up in North Missouri, and the cop, I told him, I said, I've tried to fix it. I don't know what's wrong with it. It's something in the wiring. And he goes, yeah, it's a GM. Have a nice day.
Well, but let's hold on. I think we need to add the fact of the times that you've gotten pulled over, there's usually a weird conversation that happens in the middle of your interaction with law enforcement, correct?
Sometimes.
And what is it?
Oh, it's my license plate.
No, it's not the license
No.
plate.
What is it?
It's that you drive a Buick that's a 5-speed.
It's a 6-speed. Yeah, it's a
6-speed.
manual.
A
A manual Buick.
Buick with a manual transmission.
It's just kind of a unicorn.
It is a unicorn.
But the time that I got the last time I got a speeding ticket was December of 2021. Yeah, December of 2021. I was actually going to Peggy Alber's Christmas party.
Okay.
Because that's who I worked for at the time. And I was running 80 going into Camdenton because we were late. And so I had been running that road like every day for the last, 6 months, 8 months, and never had an issue in my WRX. And the one time that my whole family's with me in the Tahoe, that's the time that I get pulled over. And she had no sympathy for me. The lady was like, yeah, you're getting a ticket.
Like, were we 20 over?
Oh, it's 60.
5 or 60, depending
It's 60 right there. So, yeah, I was 20 over. Yeah.
Yeah, you can be taken to jail.
Yeah.
It's better for you to learn the lesson that way than by hitting somebody or running off the road because you lost traction or something, and many worse things that can happen.
I've only had one speeding ticket in my life, and that was senior year of high school. And I was going through Hartville. My parents lived in Mansfield. I finished school in Lebanon, and a lot of Mondays I would drive from Mansfield to Lebanon, and they're in Hartville at the four-way stop, and then it's 30 miles an hour through the rest of Hartville. And I got a ticket for a 50 and a 30. And that was it. That's the only time. Yeah, I'm not much of a speeder.
Well, that's probably good. I probably shouldn't push it like I do.
I'm not so much worried about your speed, Nathan. It's your brakes that I'm worried about.
My brakes are, yeah, they are pretty bad.
You've struggled with that car.
I have.
And the brakes since you bought it.
I have.
But you have yet to admit that it might be your driving style.
It's not. I've never had a set of rotors warp like these, ever.
Well, but you've never drove a Buick
No.
until you've had this. I don't know that Buicks were ever designed to be
A race car?
race cars.
But this Buick has Brembo factory brakes on it.
Okay.
And if
We
you're
need to
a
get
car
Nathan
guy,
in one of those Crown Vics is what we need to do.
How awesome would that be?
It would be dumbing down the speed for him, though.
I would do it.
You would do it?
I would do it in a heartbeat.
Aaron,
I just don't
Let's
have
make this happen.
I just don't have the liquid cash to be able to do it. You know what I mean?
Word on the street is they're putting one together, and they're going to possibly let someone else drive.
Yeah.
So,
That's funny.
yeah. We might get a better race if Nathan's the one behind the wheel.
Yeah, somebody that actually can,
Shoot.
I feel like Nathan needs to be a race car
I think it'd be
never
between
been
Ramsey
on
and
track
Hayden
before.
at the back of the pack there.
So speaking of the racetrack, let's actually talk about a few things we kind of have going on with that. But Nathan, let's start with you. You've always kind of done some drifting or followed and drone work around drifters and dirt racers. But tell us a little bit about what you're doing at I-44 and kind of learning that road.
I'm just, honestly, at I-44, it feels like I'm just trying to dodge the power lines.
Yeah.
There's so many power lines out there that I have to remember whenever I'm diving from above to down onto the track. You have to remember where that's at. And so that's been kind of in the, I don't get as crazy because I'm afraid I'm going to hit that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Where at the dirt track, there's nothing. And then you just send it.
What's the difference in speeds between dirt guys and asphalt guys?
From what I can tell, the asphalt guys can go stay faster through the corners. So I usually would use the corner whenever the dirt track guys are sliding sideways. I use that time to catch back up to them and kind of dive in and get that side shot of the car. But I can't do that on asphalt. So I'm finding myself laying the drone over on its side more and trying to fly sideways more than I fly straight.
Huh. Well, I was watching from the wild side last week and looking at the tilt and seeing your drone go by. That was pretty cool because it was definitely different. Of all,
To keep up, it almost has to go like vertical to
right.
Yeah.
straight sideways.
Yeah, my camera angle is like probably 60%, 60 or 65%. Normally I fly at like 30.
Huh. That's pretty cool. I'm excited for you to put some of that footage out. I know you've had fun. Tell me about the difference between week 1 and week 2, like what you were able to do different.
I got a little more comfortable and just got down. I just got down a little bit more with them. You know, the first time you're out there, you kind of testing the waters, kind of seeing where you're at, see how fast the cars are. And then the second one, you're just like, all right, I'm going to try it a little bit more. And, you know, I've been chasing dirt for 2 or 3 years. And so I'm used to it. Like I just take off and get right down next to the driver's door, you know?
And understand. Yeah.
But I can't, I got to ease myself into it. If I did that at I-44, I would have crashed already. You know?
Well, the drivers are also easing back into racing there too, so
That's true.
they're a little bit unpredictable.
Yeah. That's the thing is like at the dirt track, if you get on somebody like Chris Jackson, he's so consistent that I can go lap after lap after lap just trying to see how close I can get to him. But when you don't know what the driver's doing, by the end of the season, I should be able to know what a few of these guys are doing.
Right.
And the modifier, what's the fastest class out there?
Late models?
The late models. Those guys are fast. Like I'm struggling to keep up with them. So I didn't even really follow them this week.
So struggling to keep up with them, like how fast are they going, or how fast?
They're running pretty consistent in the 70s.
Right.
And that's pretty fast for keeping a drone in the air and keeping it, you know, consistent. That's pretty fast.
What speed would you say is like comfortable for you? Like top speed, but comfortable.
Comfortable. I'm probably most comfortable at like 60, between 60 and 65.
Okay.
But when it starts getting higher than that, the tilt is so great that it changes everything. So when your drone is tilted, when it's normal, you've got pitch, roll, and yaw. But when it's tilted like this, now your roll becomes your yaw.
Yeah.
And your pitch becomes your roll. It's
fast.
Yeah. So it's like rewiring your brain to go that fast.
And the reaction time is so fast
Correct.
that if there is a power line that appears, you're already hitting it before you realize it.
Before your brain even has time to react to it. Yeah.
And the fact that you, like, and Brian knows this, and Nathan's experienced this with me, but like I can't fathom being able to worry about pitch and yaw and and
yaw
and whatever other words you used, plus the technical side of the camera and like understanding light and aperture and all the things that, like, you know, kind of go into it.
Well, that's one of the good aspects of that is once he takes off, that's set.
It's
right.
set, yeah.
So you don't got to worry about that. But that's one bad thing though. If you don't get that right, if you have a setting wrong or something, then your whole clip is trash, and you might have done the coolest thing you've ever done, and you didn't catch it very well.
I had a job that I did that. It was at the go-kart track.
Oh yeah.
Remember, I came in and I said I had that set on my nighttime setting.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And everything was blown out.
Yeah.
Everything was just blown out. And I had done some really cool dives in that one because somebody was forcing me to do it.
You know, there's just a certain shot there though that needed to happen. You needed to flip over the house or the
and then go right back under it.
It's not the house. It looks like a house, but those guys, I'm excited to see what he puts together with all that. And to be fair, I had a pretty good creative idea by throwing the 360 camera on one of those cars.
Yeah,
I think that footage turned out pretty good.
Yeah, you had a great idea on that.
So we're talking about racing. Brian, you and I and Nathan, Nathan's probably the most novice, or not novice, racing person here. But with stuff we're doing with the racetrack, you and I are learning a ton about the racing community, all the things going on. And you're working on a special project with some of our friends for the track, and Nathan's working on it as well. I'm just doing
some drone stuff. I'm not doing near what he's doing.
So tell me kind of what you're learning about the racetrack and tell us what you can about that project.
Well, one of the main things, especially with I-44, is the lay of the land. And that was one of the big struggles for the first week. Taking on a project like what we're doing with this and the amount of coverage that you have to have, which coverage is camera angles and something that happens so fast as a race. Like, you got to have a couple people on the infield, you got to have someone in the stands, you got to have someone ready to run to the pits or drive to the pits or whatever. So capturing think of like a reality style show. Everything happens super fast.
Right.
Like, the actual racing happens super fast. The people get to the pits super fast. Like, if there's a crash, that happens. So you just basically have to be ready to roll at any moment and already on top of it. Especially with like using red cameras and stuff, they take 40 something seconds to boot up. So if you're not ready, then you've missed the moment before you have a chance to capture it. So
that's a long boot up sequence.
Yeah. And so, just working with the team, with Nathaniel at the Slate and Glass, the whole crew there, like, they're really experienced in those higher production things. And I've fortunately got to step in with them several times now to dip my toes into that. So I'm got a way better feeling of what we're doing, but logistically, this is something that they've never done either. So it's just a process of figuring it out. We got headsets now so we can talk to each other. So if, Nathaniel might see something, or if I'm up in the stands and I see this guy's about to pass this guy or something, I'll tell them, so that way they can maybe adjust their angle to that. Or
so what
communication is a big part of this.
Give me the elevator pitch or the essence of what you guys are trying to build or put together with that project.
So if you've seen any Netflix series that is a 4 to 6 part miniseries, that is exactly what we're attempting to put together with this.
And
so you got to have enough storyline to build episodic things and make it interesting. And that's one of the things that we're really talking about right now is, are we going to have enough to make a series, or is this going to be a one, almost like a movie sort of thing? Because it can go either way, and either way it would be great, but we just have to build out an episodic thing that is close to an hour a piece. Even if you have 4 episodes, that's a 4-hour thing. It has to be interesting enough to keep people captivated to watch the next one.
right.
But you have to give them enough in the first one to keep them, to then have them invested for the second one, and then the third one and fourth one. So that's something that none of us have ever done before.
Right.
Nathaniel and them have shot some TV shows, and I've helped them do some of that stuff. But with that is, you're going for someone who's tuning in for that specific thing.
Right.
So you kind of already have your audience, which is a weird thing for me to think about, being from like social media. That's all we talk about. All we focus on is social media engagement and how to capture audience attention. With TV shows, you essentially have that built in. As long as you get them for that first little pilot,
Right.
then you got them hooked. So those are just things that we've had to think about that are different from any of the things we've ever done before, which is a cool challenge. And plus, stepping into the race world, like, I didn't know anything about it. Nathaniel and them know nothing about it. And then we're trying to show how awesome this stuff is and the personalities that are within it. And, the 13-year-old kid that's racing with them this year, and all the different aspects and the storylines and how those intermingle with each other. And if it works, which I've never been a part of anything myself that didn't work, or with Nathaniel and their crew that didn't work.
Right.
If it works to the level that we want it to, it's going to be something that is incredible for not only us, not only for the racetrack, but for Lebanon in general, and something that could really attract a lot of people to our area too, for different business opportunities and stuff like that. So it's super exciting on basically all fronts. It's just the challenge of it.
Well, it's cool to watch you guys do it, because like being down there around the track and seeing like the footage you're capturing. I've told this to a couple other people, but like seeing what those cameras are and what's going through those, and knowing how you're building out the storylines, and Aaron and his family, and the different racers you have, and like you mentioned, Hayden, 13 years old. It was pretty funny last week to see they did the kids got to ride the race car, and Hayden doesn't have a driver's license.
Yeah.
But kids were piling in his car, and watching Hayden kind of get this taste of this sponsorship life with Domino's, and being on the weekly around the track show, and Domino's showing up at our door.
Yeah.
Like it's been really cool, and to kind of see how the race community has embraced it. And then, you know, we also get to see a little bit of behind the scenes of what Aaron is going through on the promotion side, and how to, you know, the risks that he's taking, and building out those stuff.
Which I gotta say about Aaron, personally and professionally, like that guy has taken on a lot. There's a lot that a lot of people haven't seen that we've got a little bit of a behind the scenes peek into and stuff, and not only producing the show for them every Wednesday like what we're doing, but like is in terms of this show, like the mentality that he has is like we didn't know Aaron really before this, and I feel like I would almost trust Aaron Douglas with my life after getting to know him, and like having someone who is that dedicated to not only himself, his family, and he just wants so badly for other people to have a good time. That is his entire motivation in life. And that has become clearer and clearer throughout this series too, that if you want someone to be a promoter of something who actually wants everyone within it to succeed, and the fans and everything else to succeed and have fun, he is the perfect person for this.
I think that's why we, you know, the three of us also have kind of tied in and hitched our wagon with him, and supported him as much as we can, because he's kind of doing what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Just be helpful, introduce people to people, network, build fun, cool stuff. Would you agree with that, Nathan?
Oh, 100%.
What about what you're doing with them? Like you're getting even more involved with the track a little bit now, and
Yeah, you had an official shirt on.
yeah.
Yeah, it's different. I kind of grew up a little bit in the race world. My uncle Johnny was he drove a number 44. He did a lot of dirt racing, so I was around it as a kid, but not to this level. And you know, doing what we're doing, I'm just kind of trying to help build the experience. And for me personally, I'm learning a lot about racing, and being on the infield completely changed my mindset on racing and what it is.
Yeah.
And like, it's hard for me to not want to get involved and become a race car driver.
Yeah.
But no, it's been really cool. I'm excited to see what it's doing for the community.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool from my angle to get to go around and see the families having a good time, seeing the kids race, seeing the racers. You know, we're trying to also kind of bring more of an experience to the social media side of what he's doing, whether it's the Wednesday show, whether it's pulling, like we just put that video out where, you know, I'm going around and I'm very fortunate because Aaron has basically not told me what I can or can't do. So I get to kind of let my creative mind run. We did the Facebook Live on a tripod during the late models, and we caught that one car spinning out after turn 4. And so just trying to kind of bring a level of production for the real-time experience, and that has been fun. And we got some cool ideas and some things we're gonna try to implement differently every week. So it's been one thing I didn't factor was seeing, you know, we have a Facebook, I've got a Facebook, I've got friends following, we're building some other Facebook channels and social media stuff, but seeing what works on a huge scale. the track has 20 some thousand followers. So there's lots of eyeballs on it, and being able to test different things and see the reaction's been probably, other than just the atmosphere and learning about the racers and the community, like seeing the analytical side and understanding that's been the best part for me.
I think this is a really cool, like what we've been talking about for years now, of being able to work together on something with our individual skill sets.
Right.
You know, like he brings the air and that sort of stuff, but he can do what he is special at within this same thing. Like we're all capturing racing.
Right.
And then Nathan's capturing it from the air, you're capturing it from the infield, the social media side, we're capturing it in the higher production side. Like it's just a really cool like microcosm of what we've been talking about for years and years and years, how we can all benefit each other and we can all benefit the client, Aaron in this case, and use our expertise how we do it best. And then what we're doing is benefiting him, what he's doing is benefiting us and you and vice versa. And just cool to see good people getting together, do cool stuff, and then we can all benefit.
Right. Well, and seeing the back end side of the risks that Aaron's willing to take and kind of try something new. I mean, we've talked about it. The track hasn't really been open on a weekly basis since 2019. Do you know, Nathan?
It's been 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
4 or 5 years.
Exactly.
They had one race, I think, last year or something. They brought in a special race or something like that. But
Yeah.
it has been cool too, and talking to Aaron off camera and behind the scenes of like the response he's getting and the companies reaching out to partner with him, and there's some big ones they're ironing out details of sponsorships and that sort of thing. But then there's also, it's been cool to see, like this week they took on and I apologize, but Bramble Bakery or something. We'll tag them or something.
For a class sponsor?
Yeah, for a class sponsor, and building out that because they're starting to see the value of what he's building, and it aligns with their brand and their things. So
Yeah.
it's really cool just to see an opportunity, like you mentioned, Brian, and is to see everything kind of come together. We've even seen, I think what's really cool too is like Aaron's letting Matt Eden kind of run with his side of stuff. And I know you do some stuff. I saw Matt's latest video, but
Yeah.
it's got some of your footage in it. And so
Yeah.
you're helping contribute to what Matt's building out.
Yeah.
Matt's social media following with the Buck Naked and the Missouri Public Hunter is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So it really is. We're getting to see so many different angles of one common goal from so many people, and I think that's pretty cool.
I think that's you know how from our side, sometimes you get clients that are, sometimes they're almost like the hovering parent sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is a really, really great example of we all essentially have the same client, which is I-44 Speedway.
Mm-hmm.
And they're allowing us to do whatever we want to do in our own way to help out the track, how we can do it at best. And this is a great example of letting the expert be the expert and do what they do best.
Mm-hmm.
There is always a time where if you want a specific direction or you want a specific thing, but I think this is a really, really good example of that. Letting the people who know best do best at what they're best at.
Yeah.
So speaking of being the best, Nathan, we know there's not many people, you're top of the line, I'll go as far as saying world class on the drone. Are you going to attempt my idea at the track?
Yes, probably.
And do you think it's as cool as I think it's going to be?
If I can pull it off the way it looks in your head, yes. But I don't know if I can. I don't know if the laws of physics will allow me to pull it off.
It's just like a 3/4 inverted backflip turn over the whole racetrack to then focus on the racers.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound difficult.
No, not at all.
Well,
He's going to have to rent the track out for a practice day just for that.
Yeah.
The drone move.
Just to do the one move.
we'll get the electric car out on the track.
I would love to see that, actually.
I don't know. I think it would be. I'll let you drive. I don't know that I'm ready.
If I had the WRX, I would have. I wanted to get it out there so bad.
Well, we'll see. But I don't know. It's been kind of fun. And
Yeah.
again, this whole thing was these dudes' idea because Brian wanted Mexican Villa and Nathan took a day off.
Well, and another good thing about the racetrack is that Brian's getting an incredible calf workout.
Yeah, if I don't have bodybuilder-like calves by the end of this summer from going up and down that hill, man.
Hey.
Like the muscles on the bottom of my feet were like tensing so much that night. Man, we're
That's
only two
funny.
races in, and it's already the cramps are already happening.
That's
So,
hilarious.
Well, you can be like me and walk all the way to the back side and realize there's no way to get to the pits. So you have to walk all the way back, and people staring at me because I'm trying to find the fun crowds
Yeah.
and tailgates and stuff going on because we're gonna implement them into some stuff soon. So I'm just kind of getting a feel for what's going on that end. But I don't know. It's gonna be a fun summer. I'm excited.
We always call it the ha ha tonka trip.
Right.
We gotta do some more stuff like that this summer.
Yeah.
Get the three amigos together and go out on a day of something.
Yeah.
I think that was what started this whole
Yeah.
ride, and maybe we'll do that in a few weeks on the 13th. To be exact.
Let's take a minute and talk about 668 voicemails on this man's phone.
That's got to be a glitch in the Matrix or something.
What is this? You have voicemails from 1950 in there.
1952.
Golly.
Don't judge me.
He's getting calls from Narnia or something.
Use speed. I just ignore voicemails.
So
It's better to
don't
text
leave
me.
Ramsey a voicemail because he's
Well,
not
And
going to
apparently,
read.
I sit there yesterday. We got that call from Nathan from the school, and my phone didn't even ring, and it just pops up that I have a voicemail sitting right beside me.
What?
So-
It's glitches in the Matrix, fellas. It's all right.
It happens.
What else we got to talk about?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about? You got any other big projects you're working on outside of the racetrack?
Let's talk about what we got going on and what we're trying to do in our community, us a little bit, of what we're building with the building and collab and stuff like that. We touched on some of this stuff in my podcast last week.
First
but-
time,
Second time, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, but this is first time.
yeah, this is first time.
This
First
is
time for me.
First time for you. Yeah.
So, what, from your aspect, go into collab a little bit more and what you're wanting to get out of that.
We talked about it on your podcast, so I won't beat a dead horse. But we've understood and learned that we have the ability to build an audience for people, regardless of the medium at which you choose to build that audience. Some people want to go all into social media and build it that way. Some people want to continue maybe methods that have worked, but add in a hybrid version of that. So we know now how we can implement video into traditional methods. And we know we're understanding more and more about what we're able to do and how social media can be an influence in a good way for the businesses or for the community or different aspects of that. So that's what we now know exactly what it is. We're still building out the systems, and that's what our next goal is. We've got a couple opportunities that are working with us. The racetrack's been one at them. You know, we called the racetrack to see how we could help them, and that's been a really cool thing because it's something that there's no playbook, there's no cheat sheet, so to speak. We're just kind of figuring out, but we're also understanding that the skill set that maybe I bring to the table is completely different, and it does have a lot of key things across the board, but it also knows now when to stop and to say, Nathan, get your drone in the air. Brian, set up the interview or set up the lighting, or we need your camera to do this. We need your skill set. So it's, again, we talked about it on yours, and it's more of focused and intentional type audience building is what we're doing. So yeah, enough about me and collab.
Well, you do a great job at that. And I tell you this all the time off camera. And for those of you out there who are Ramsey's audience, probably seeing this video, this dude, there's a reason why his head's so big. And that's because there's so many ideas up here. And they're all good. It's just the bandwidth to make the stuff happen is the only limiting factor. So those are the walls that we're constantly trying to break down, and how we can pull this stuff off. And the mayor video was a great example of that. And just that idea was 2 years in the making, and we just had to find the right time with the right people to make it happen. And it went off great. And it was it's one of my favorite videos we've ever made. And we got super good engagement, and everyone who saw it said nothing but nice things. And it's just one of those things where, again, leaning into people who know what they're doing, know what they're talking about, and sometimes you just got to go with it, It's
just, taking risks. That's what we're all kind of learning. You two have been a huge resource for me to be able to bounce ideas off of. Nathan is kind of the sounding board for a lot of things. Would you agree with that, Nathan?
Maybe, I guess, yeah.
We're trying different things. I mean, this thing that we're doing here is kind of outside of everybody's box. Nathan was the one that pushed me to kind of go with the whole show thing that we did with Timmy and Becky, and Nathan did one, this similar kind of concept, and Justin did one, and we've got a few people lined up to do more. It's hard finding time to do all that stuff, but we're learning. The one thing that I didn't realize would come out of a lot of this was what I'm seeing with my wife and her podcast, and seeing her kind of shine. It's been really cool. It's equally as cool to watch her succeed, and as it has been to watch her interact with the people that are choosing to interact across different platforms. Every day when I get home, I ask her who she's made mad on social media and to tell me the best comments she's gotten.
Yeah.
And it's always fun to see her kind of react and have some fun with that. So we're having a lot of fun right now.
Well, that's just another example too of take those people, which are your wife in this case, and Courtney, taking a risk and putting themselves out there, but trusting that we knew what we were doing to put it out, and it's massively paid off. Are you still recording, by the way?
Well, I need to check that. I don't know. I was worried my phone might run out. Yeah, we're at 51 minutes now.
51 minutes. Wow.
Yeah, you guys.
Nathan would have made it to Springfield 30 minutes ago, so this conversation would have been a lot shorter.
Nathan's in the back, mad that we're not going faster still. I'm gonna let him drive home. See how that work? You want to drive home, Nathan?
No, I don't know.
Well, we're almost there. We've talked a lot. This has been fun. It's a little different angle of kind of what we're doing, and I'm excited for all of us. I'm excited to keep growing and keep learning, and I'm excited for you two. I know there's some projects in the pipeline for you guys that are things that maybe you didn't have on your bingo card for 2024. So it's going to be a fun summer, man. I'm excited.
It's crazy. I put up that post this morning about I'm almost 8 years into doing this, and I legitimately feel like I'm just getting started, just getting traction on what I actually want to do with all of this. And it's a really cool feeling to know what you want to do and then have some success at it,
Right. Touch on that a little bit, Nathan. I know we talked about it in one of ours, but the success and the personal side of what you're doing and what you've been able to see. Is that a fair question, or is
Yeah,
that...
no, it's a good question. I'm thinking about how to answer it and answer it publicly. It's incredible to be able to do something that you love to do and work with people that genuinely seem to care about you and see the relationships build out of just taking pictures and flying drones. And I think it just proves to me that I should have bet on myself a lot sooner. I'll just put it that way. I should have bet on myself a lot sooner. Because 3 years into this, I don't ever want to stop.
I don't think you're going to have to worry
Imagine
about that.
what drones are going to be like in the next 3 years.
Oh, I'm ready
You
to
know?
build. I'm ready to build one that I can ride on. I'm not even kidding you.
That's going to be the next thing.
I'm not even
Next
kidding.
fly through for the house.
I just
Nathan's
set
just
you on the
riding it.
back. I just set people on the back and just.
Speaking of, I called Nathan the other day, and this is a microcosm of how it works when dealing with me.
You stole my word.
Microcosm? Or
He did use it earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was driving.
It's a great word, though.
I was driving
It is.
to meet some people about another video idea that I've had for a few years that I think is finally going to come together. But I called Nathan up, and I had just seen a video that Nathan did for another real estate agent. It was a great video, and I knew as soon as I watched it, I was almost 100% certain Nathan did it. But I called Nathan and I said, all right, next listing video, this is what we're doing. We're going to hybrid, and I'm really excited because I think it's going to be a cool way to kind of show Nathan's skills. And hopefully, if you've got a house that's got a beautiful, never mind, we won't even talk about that yet. But I'm excited to do it because it's going to level up more of a hybrid model than what Nathan's already doing, or he's already doing, and it's going to just kind of tweak it a little bit more. So I'm excited for that one. But that's what it's like working with me. It may be 2 months before we get the listing, but we've got the idea.
Yeah.
And it's jotted down, so we have to make it happen. So we're going to make it happen.
Just like the
Fun.
interrogation, you had that 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and you just now had an idea or had a.
But see, that's where,
opportunity.
like, if we would have done that idea when he had that idea, it would have been the wrong time. And it wouldn't have been, the response wouldn't have been what it was. And you gotta, some things like that are really good ideas, but you have to wait for the right moment for it.
Yeah.
And sometimes patience with that stuff, it's frustrating because you're like,
yeah.
it's such a good idea. And we've talked about this for years, about that specific video, actually, that it was a good idea, but like I didn't feel like it was the right time for that. And if we would have just made it, we would have already made that idea and we wouldn't have had it. So that's one struggle with being creative for a living, is like figuring out which ideas you go with now versus which ideas would benefit you to wait on. And
I just,
if you wait too long, then you have the idea,
Yeah.
like being creative for a living is great, and I wouldn't trade it for a thing in the world, but sometimes you're in a creative funk, and whenever you have to be creative,
I was
you
today.
have to be creative.
I even said to you earlier, I'm like, I need to make this video, and I don't want to.
Yeah.
yeah, you wanted to go home and take a nap.
I
And
did.
then you had the idea of Mexican Villa.
No, I didn't. No.
Oh, and Brian, by the way, I'm sorry, but all the Chick-fil-A's are closed today.
It's not Sunday.
No, they just took the antibiotics into the chickens or
Oh.
out of the chickens. However, that whole thing is working right now. So they're not open today.
Antibiotics or not, they taste pretty good.
Well, I don't know. Well, we're 57 minutes into this. We're driving down Sunshine in Springfield on our way to Mexican Villa for lunch. And I think it's a good time to wrap it up. Anything you want to say before we go?
Just thanks to everybody out there, all the people out there that have seen Ramsey's stuff, who have supported it, that I've done through the years, that Nathan's done through the years, that he's done himself through the years, I got to meet some of them in Florida that had like seen me through you and different stuff, and it was cool to be halfway across the country and people knew who you were, you know? So just thank you to all you people out there, whether you're local or not, for not only supporting this big dummy, but supporting us through him and us also separately. So
Yeah, for sure.
I appreciate it a lot. And you guys appreciate it.
It's been fun, and we're just trying to put little old Lebanon on the map.
Just trying to do
And
some
I
cool
think-
stuff out here.
I think we're making that happen. So, Nathan, anything you want to wrap up with?
No, I think Brian said it really well.
That, and you just don't like to talk very much.
That, yeah.
So, all right. Well, we hope this turns out. We didn't check to make sure we all
Audio
recording.
is still recording.
I can see it in the rearview mirror.
I don't know. Let's see if mine is. Yeah, I'm still recording.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So fortunately, Nathan didn't hit the button this time again. To the last time we did this. Yeah. But
It wasn't me, by the way.
thanks for checking this out.
See ya.
Bye.